Alright, so welcome back to our second recipe, and we talked it over this week and finally came up with a name, which is Gloria's Vintage Vittles. And I am not Gloria. Gloria was my mother, and we're making her recipes, and we have a teeny tiny one today and called Salmon Supper Loaf. It's very easy. It doesn't even really need a video, but I just wanted to have a record of everything I'm making. So this starts with a large can of salmon, and then we have 2 beaten eggs, a cup of fine breadcrumbs, a half cup of milk, a tablespoon of minced onion, a 1/4 cup of green olives with pimento, and we've got our 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of dry mustard right in here. And then it calls for a teaspoon of lemon juice. And I thought this was a great opportunity, especially with such an easy recipe, to show probably the favorite thing that I got from my mother, which is this old-fashioned citrus press, and there's some lemon in there. So
I would say that's vintage.
Yeah, this is very vintage. And
by the way, I'm the one that came up with the word vintage.
Yes. No, I had vintage. You had Vittles. Remember?
Vittles. I'm sorry. You are correct,
and
my
so
dear.
Literally, all we do with this recipe is mix everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the beaten eggs.
What do you call it when you have everything separated and ready to go?
Mise en place.
And where does that come from?
France. And it basically just means everything in its place. That was something that Chuck had not heard of when I met him, so he's always, yeah, he likes to talk about getting all the mise en place ready.
I call it mise en plop.
Mise en plop, that works. I've also heard mice in place from a friend of mine. Melissa, shout out to you. I'll send you this video. So here we go. Literally easiest recipe ever. It's just mix everything up and put it in a loaf pan. So that's what we're doing.
So everything goes in at once before you mix it.
Yes, the one thing we still need is our teaspoon of lemon. So we're going to squeeze this on down. And
Just get a close-up of our squeezer.
I'm just going to
My favorite squeezer in the world. I've squeezed many of lemon, but nothing works as great as this.
I don't want too much lemon. I'm not a huge fan of lemon, but I think that lemon and salmon is such a classic pairing. I just don't like too much. So now we mix. And we're mixing. And we're mixing. What's that from, the Amber walking thing?
What is that show? And we're walking.
We make that joke a lot, and I don't even know where it comes from.
I can't remember now. You just hit me and made my mind go blank.
Alrighty. Looks pretty mixed. Kind of looks like tuna salad. But you don't usually put a cup of breadcrumbs in tuna salad or eggs, so I think that's what's going to make it into more of a loaf.
Do you grease the pan or anything?
Yes, it does say buttered, so I have that already done. Thanks for reminding me. It's kind of on the look. I remembered my rubber spatula, so I'm not climbing everybody's ears.
Yeah, it made my feelings hurt. Not my feelings, but my fillings in my teeth.
Alright, so it's kind of...
It's already smelling great.
It's not a very... I don't know if it's going to puff up a little bit because of the eggs.
We have nice counters. Look at when you move.
Oh, I know.
A
Anything
pan.
metal. We're planning on refinishing this. Anything metal makes marks on these counters. So let's just cover that back up. And stick it in the 350, I believe. Double check that. Yes, 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. So, in it goes.
Alrighty. Sounds great. Alright, the timer's out. Let's check and see how she looks. Ooh, smells delicious. And it looks great.